Have your manifestations been a little bit slow lately? They're maybe even stalled? Well, the good news is that Jupiter comes back to life after its long period of being retrograde on the 4th of February 2025. If you've been trying to manifest anything, this could become your secret weapon. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Jay. If you've been here before, welcome back. My goal is to help you manifest more time freedom, more money for your business, and more flow in your life. Now make sure you watch this video because I'm going to be giving you tips on how to use this energy of Jupiter in Gemini so that you can get the most out of it. But stay to the end because at the end I'm going to give you a little bit of a tarot reading so you've got a little message for going into this period. Like I said, Jupiter has come back to life, so we're no longer in Jupiter retrograde and now we have the full power of Jupiter coming back to us. He's going to stay in Gemini until the 10th of June, which then he'll move into Cancer. So we've got a few months to get really the most out of this planet. Now, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of growth, the planet of expansion. Anything Jupiter touches, it's going to get bigger, but he's also really good for bringing opportunities our way. The way I like to describe Jupiter is kind of like opening your horizons. He's kind of the philosopher of the planets. It's not just about the surface level stuff. He's the one that's going to ponder, what is life? Like, what are we even here for? It's that kind of a vibe, yeah? If you feel tied down to anything, Jupiter might make you feel like you need to break the chains a little bit and have that independence without it. When you put Jupiter with Gemini, it's a bit of a mismatch. They're not really comfortable with each other. Jupiter's this planet, like I said, that wants to grow and expand and go really, really deep. Whereas Gemini is this curious, little jumping about all over the place kind of an energy. They like to talk, they like to be curious, they're very, very flexible, and they're always on the go. They're always doing something. They always keep moving. They're witty, they're humorous, they're fun, they're playful. And when you put that with Jupiter, who wants things to get bigger and spend the time and going right into the depths, focusing more on the long term, where Gemini just wants things done, then there is that bit of a mismatch. So with this energy, what you really need to watch out for is overextending yourself, because you might get loads of information on how to make things better. And with it being in Gemini, that could be about loads of different things all at once. And if you try and action on this and then try and action on that and then try and action on this and then that and the next thing, then it just gets too much and you end up overextending yourself. The other thing to watch out for is when you are learning something new or when you're thinking of doing something new, that you're not getting stuck in your head, yeah? And your Gemini, they are up in the air. They're an air sign, so they're up in the air. So make sure that you're not getting stuck up there and you're coming back down and you're getting the stuff done that needs to get done. Again, when it comes to like learning and things, watch where you're putting your focus. Like if you find yourself doing one thing and then you're going on to another thing and then you're going back to this thing, and then Gemini wants to multitask, they're the jack of all trades kind of thing, but you don't need to do that, and they can be a little bit scattered at times because of that. And because they are always on the go and they've got all this energy and they just want to keep doing loads of different things, they do have this tendency to take risks. And they're not as bad as a sign like Aries, who will jump headfirst into something. They'll make decisions quicker so they can keep moving. They always like to move. And when they make decisions, they can sometimes get a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. I can see this happening because Jupiter will present more opportunities in this area of your chart. So there could be that element of FOMO. So just watch out for that as well. Now today, we are only scraping the surface with this transit with Jupiter and Gemini. There is so much more, like what planets it's near, what planets it's doing this with, and where it falls in your chart, what sign the other planets fall in, what's your sign. All these things can come into play and it can become really, really overwhelming. But if you want to use astrology to manifest more of what you really want in your life, go to j-elliott.com/coaching and book a session with me. I'd be happy to help you dive into your chart, make sure you're aligned with where you want to go and make sure it all fits the energies that are around the chart and help you with what energies you can tap into at this time. Give you the best next step moving forward. So if that sounds good, you can go to j-elliott.com/coaching, or you can go down into the description and I'll leave the link there. But let's get back into today's video. Now you might have noticed that this video went out on the 7th of February, after Jupiter already went direct. That was for a number of reasons, but the main reason that was is because this week was meant to be a video that was completely different. Yeah. I had a video idea about moon signs, and I thought, right, I'm going to do that. And when Jupiter went direct in Gemini, I decided that I was going to plan it to hell. And I literally had filled this big document up with loads of stuff about this video, how it was going to go through all the 12 signs and how it was going to go through all this. And that is typical of Jupiter and Gemini. Jupiter wants you to go deep and expand on everything. And I found myself doing this. But anyway, it came to film in it and I was checking my notes, and I hate a scripted video at the best of times, but a scripted video with loads of information like that was just far too overwhelming. I could feel myself getting heightened. I could feel myself getting tense. So I spent the whole day yesterday, which today is Thursday. I spent the whole day yesterday going over it and over it and over it. And then I just got to the stage where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Need to move on. And that is the kind of energy to watch out for with Jupiter and Gemini. It wants you to go really, really deep, but you might find it hard to focus there for any length of period. And it can push you too deep sometimes. So just make sure that you're, especially with the energy of it's pushing you too deep, but then you want to go and do other things. That was another thing. When I was planning, I was like, oh, this video could be a reel. It could be 12 reels. It could be a carousel. It could be this, it could be that. I had all these big plans for this piece of content that never happens. But that is the kind of energy with Jupiter and Gemini. Yeah. It wants you to do loads of things and because it's Gemini, and it wants you to go deep with loads of these things as well. And I couldn't get in the swing of it. Another thing you might find is you want to learn things, and that is exactly what happened to me as well last night when I'd calmed down and I'd get out of my downer. I was like, right, okay, what could I do to my business? Like, could I learn something? I actually wanted to go on courses. So I was like browsing courses online and looking at coaches, looking at this and looking at the next thing. And I was like, wait, stop, right? You're just calm down. And it was then it clicked. I was like, this is Jupiter and Gemini. This is what it feels like. On the 4th, probably a few days before, I wanted to book a holiday. Now, that sounds like a normal thing to do. Maybe want to book the holidays for the summer or whatever. But no, I don't want to just book one holiday. I wanted to book like a month here and then go to a month there. And then I was like, I could do that. I could so find myself doing that. Like, I'd experience so much of the world. I would learn so much. And that is the vibe of Jupiter and Gemini. Now, this video being a few days after gave me that to show you how it was showing up for me. Now, I am a Gemini, so I will feel this a bit more. If you're a Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Virgo, you're going to feel this probably the most out of all the signs. As soon as Jupiter went direct, it was pretty much conjunct with my natal sun, so I felt it. Yeah. How can we use this energy for good? Because that is the main thing. Well, the first thing is, you don't want to get overwhelmed here, so you want to pick one thing and master it. Between this time, between now and June, what is the one thing that could really help your business, help your life if you were to master it? Focus on that, because again, Jupiter in Gemini is going to make you want to learn this, that, this, that, this, that, this, that, and this, that. But it's going to get overwhelming because it doesn't want you just to scrape the surface with these things. It wants you to go into deep to everything. So just be strict with yourself and say, no, I'm going to be strict here. I'm going to pick one thing that's really piqued my interest and it could really help me move forward in my life, my business, getting more flow, and go really, really deep. And see if you do find yourself getting scattered. Like, I would say this is a good time to think about getting coaching. Shameless plug. But having a coach, you're getting the information you need from somebody who has already been in your shoes. You're also, well, you should be, depends on the coach, but you should be getting it. That should be coming from life experience a lot of the time. But also you've got somebody who'll call you out on your bullshit. Yeah. I know for me, without a coach, I can get myself in head spaces where I'm all over the place. Typical Gemini, yeah? And before I know it, I've burnt out and I'm not up for it for the rest of the day. So, but when you've got somebody there that you know you're going to have to see them, it makes you want to get the stuff done. It keeps you accountable. But then you know if you've made an ass of it during the week, they're going to call you out on that. And I think that is a great investment around this time. Again, if you are wanting to manifest more of what you really want, you can go down and check out that description for that link. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you. I'd love to call you out on your bullshit. So come down and see me. Anyway, it's not a sales video. I just thought I would mention that a coach is really, really good to help you stay focused, yeah? Not having the scattered energy. The next thing I want to talk about is your content. As a business owner, if you're not got a business, then you're thinking about creating a business, you're going to have to think about content. This is a good time to put the emphasis on content because, like we said, anything Jupiter touches, it wants to expand. So you could get growth around this time. The problem with that is it's in Gemini, like we've said, and Gemini wants to talk about loads of different things. You want to go deep on social media. You don't want to be on Instagram one day, TikTok the next, YouTube the next, this, that, and the next thing. Yeah, you don't want that. You want to pick one platform, nail it. So between now and June, just say, I am going to make sure I post X amount on these platforms. When it comes down to what do you post what you're already doing, yeah? Don't think too hard about it. The thing is, you want to be posting content that shows you, that shows your stories, that shows who you are, yeah? Whether that's for a business or whether it's just for fun, you should be posting mostly about you. Document your journey, document your life. Like I did in this video, I started talking about, well, actually this transits have been affecting me like this. So you want to do things like that. I would, while you're doing the learning that we were talking about in the first thing, now you can start to do the doing part and start to teach it. Document your journey and actually tell people how to do the things that you're learning. Because when you start to teach things, you actually start to master it more because you're then got the experience of the doing, you've then got the experience of the learning, and you're putting it all together and showing you, you'll maybe explain things differently than other people. So it's different. So document your journey. Do what you're doing already. Don't spread yourself too thin trying to be on every single platform. Pick one platform, nail it. Now, I say that with a bit of a caveat because for me, I post on Instagram as my social media platform, but I do have YouTube because I like to class YouTube, blogs, and podcasts as a separate thing. They're loyalty program. They're loyalty platforms. They're where you build your relationship and you can attract an audience as well, but people are spending a longer time with you on these platforms than they are on social media. Plus, the people that watch you on these platforms are making a conscious decision to watch your video. So the audience is a lot more loyal on these platforms. So I like to have these platforms, one of these platforms and one of them platforms. If you're not following me on Instagram, come follow me. It's @JElliottLife. One thing you want to think about around this time is money, because there will be some times where Jupiter might square Venus, and that is kind of like overindulgence energy, overspending, all that sort of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on your finances during this time, and you're not spending money on loads of different things. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, good luck. So having a plan to maybe like create a new offer, maybe refine your offer, like go a little bit deeper than you went, or like make a new framework. These are really, really good at this time. Multiple streams of income. If you're going to add a new income stream, don't add loads, do one and then build from there. Because again, if you start to do too much and then you're like all scattered, you'll end up spreading yourself far too thin. It's a good time to think about that because like we said, Jupiter, good fortune, good luck, all that sort of stuff. Having said that, there are some transits that could pose a little bit of a problem with finances, especially when Jupiter and Venus decide to square each other. That could cause you to overspend or overindulge in things. Even at planning stages just now, I think you could come up with a good plan, but refining your offers, definitely, if you've got an offer, a coaching offer or whatever, just now is a really, really good time to focus on just refining it and making sure it's serving you as much as it's serving everybody else. Maybe even think about increasing the value of it, that sort of a thing, or putting the price up. If you've been at that price for a while and you know that your knowledge is get better, then put it up. Like, get the price up that goes with the value you're given. Now, one thing about Jupiter and Gemini is opportunities. Like, this is one thing, like we said, is all about good luck, good fortune, all that stuff, and Jupiter will present opportunities. And that means that we have to talk about the manifestation scale. If you're wanting to manifest anything in your life, there needs to be a balance. You need a balance of masculine energy and you need a balance of feminine energy. When these are imbalanced by blocks or whatever, then you miss things, you don't make the right decisions, you do the wrong things, you could get overwhelmed. So it's much better to focus on balancing these two energies out. So you've got the masculine energy, which is the doing, the more like your strategy, the thinking, the active kinds of work. And then you've got the feminine, which is more receptive, like being open to opportunities, receiving things, all that sort of a stuff, doing the meditations to receive the messages that you need to receive from the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, yeah? Now, a lot of people, when they're trying to manifest, they either get stuck on one of these two, yeah? If you're stuck on the masculine, you're probably going to be feeling the stress, feeling overwhelmed at times, or you might be starting to compare yourself to others, that sort of a thing. When you're focused too much on the feminine, you don't have the tangible stuff that these things can happen. When we were talking about Jupiter and Gemini, if there is an abundance of opportunities, you need to be receptive to receive them. Yeah. So you need to make sure you're balancing the scale so that you can be as receptive as you can around this time. I would imagine when it is in Gemini, these opportunities will come more frequent in the area of your chart it is positioned. Yeah. So just be wary of that you could get a lot of opportunities. This is why you need to be careful with risk taking. Yeah. If you just like jump into things head first, then you could make some mistakes. So it's about being receptive. If you get new opportunities, sit with it before you make a decision. Does this feel good? What does it feel like? And start to really get into the feeling, the feminine, the receptive side of that manifestation scale around this time, making sure you've got that balance. The last thing that I want to say is to be flexible. Things change, things happen, life happens, yeah? And Gemini is a mutable sign, so they are very good at changing when they need to change. So if you do find yourself getting in that position where you are feeling a bit overwhelmed or you are feeling a bit scattered, that's absolutely okay. Yeah, do not fear. Like, just, that was a bad day, let's move on. Like I did, yeah? I was literally, had about 4 pages for a video that I was trying to read and I was trying to do all this stuff and it just wasn't working and I was getting overwhelmed and I was getting stressed and it just wasn't working. And I could have sat and dwelled on that and been like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm not having a video out on Friday. But I didn't. I said, no, put it to the side for now. I'll come back to it. And here we are. I've recorded this video and I've enjoyed recording this one actually. It's been really, really good. You have to be flexible. Now, if you are a mutable sign like Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, you're going to feel it's easier to change things up and not take things like, you're going to be find it easier with that change. Embrace change. Change is growth. Just remember that. Okay, so before we finish, I want to give you a little bit of a tarot reading just to see what messages the universe has for you around the Jupiter and Gemini time. This is probably a good time. If you've enjoyed this video and you like this one, drop a wee like. Any questions around Jupiter and Gemini, let me know. Let me know what's going on. I love to hear from yous and it really does help this channel grow. So I would appreciate it. And if you're not following or anything like that, subscribe. All the algorithm stuff, may as well get it while I'm shuffling the cards for yous. I think around this time, it can be really, really easy to feel like you don't want to be tied down, yeah? But this is telling you to be open with commitments. You've got the King of Cups. He's got everything that he needs. He's mastered his craft, but he's also got his cup. He can fill up his cup. Yeah, this is your emotions. What you're putting your energy into. You want to sit there and be strong and not be getting overwhelmed and not getting overextending yourself and not doing all that stuff, and sit there like the king who has got his shit together and he knows what he's doing. Yeah, he can fill his own cup up. So it all starts with turning your stuff inside and making sure that you're in a good place to be able to receive. And that's what the King of Cups is. Make sure you can fill your own cup. Master that during this time. And I think that is good advice because there are other things. It's not just Jupiter and Gemini. And that is good advice around this time, is to make sure that you're filling your own cup up. Yeah? You don't need other people to do that for you. So we're starting there. I think this is wanting you to look at where you're investing things, where you're investing your energy, where you're investing your money, where you're investing time, all that sort of stuff. Where are you looking? Where's your investments? Spend your time looking there rather than starting something new. I would say that's probably the thing. Improve what you've got, improve what you're investing in around this time. Look back and see ways that you can bring bring growth rather than starting something new, which I think with Jupiter and Gemini, all that kind of an energy, this is good advice, because Gemini might want you to go and start hundreds of new things, and then you're like, I've got this stuff. Whereas you could have just worked on this one thing and built it up and created more growth in that thing during this period. And I think that's great advice. I can't believe this. The Star card, another great card to finish off. This is reminding you to go in, chill, be receptive. Look, she's down there filling her cup, yeah? Have hope that whatever you're trying to manifest right now is coming to you, because it is. Jupiter and Gemini can help here if you're the one that's open to opportunities and you're the one that's receptive and that you have the hope and the belief and all that stuff. So if you've got beliefs that are holding you back from hitting them manifestations, master them around this time. Yeah? I think that's a really good message for Jupiter and Gemini. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a wee while since I've done an astrology based video, and it was really getting to me. I was wanting to do them, a few of them, and I was just getting into that overthinking stage. So when I done this one, when I was coming to record this one, I was like, no, stick to it, just make it simple and have fun. And I hope yous have enjoyed it as well, because that's why I do this. Yeah, that's why I put content out, for yous to learn about the astrology, learn about business, learn about creating freedom in your life and all that stuff. So I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have got any questions, like I said, leave them down in the comments. I'll leave some videos on the screen just now. Go and check them out. And I just want to say a massive well done to you for showing up for yourself, watching this video. I'm super proud of you. I love you, and have an awesome week.